This is entitled the Price or Cost of Lying. I made up my mind um, not to be a liar. Why? Because I figured out the cost of lying, while on earth for a short while can hinder my chances of at least having the ability to negotiate my fate for eternity. Case in point, when Jesus asked the spirits that possessed the man, "Who are you?" The spirits answered Jesus, "We are many." Now, some of you, don't recognize the power of even, answering Jesus. Giving an answer overcame the option of not answering the question, which would not have been lying, but an act of disobedience. How? By not answering. Some of you would argue, I didn't lie, therefore I'm not a liar. But when God or Jesus, who are the same in one, it was God coming to offer himself as a sacrifice, which had to be perfect, and the only perfect man can be God, or has to be God, because man is, we're born into sin. We don't have what it takes to live a perfect life to be the sacrifice that would be worthy for the sins of man. But that's a whole other story I'll get into another time. But Jesus asked, who are you? And either, already has the answer, he already knows. Well, I'm sure both, he can find out who, was living in the man. God was hoping they would lie or ignore him. One might, ask me, how do you know? After the conversation was over, or after Jesus got all his answers, the spirits, asked if they could go into the swine. And Jesus said yes. And the swine then ran and jumped, into the sea. My interpretation of why they were given permission to enter the swine, they would probably get permission from the man, first to enter him, which is different than swine, and then get permission to enter the fish when the swine died from drowning. There was a lot more homes to dwell in than the swine. That's why you should always ask God to bless your food, especially many of you who eat, bacon, pork chops, fish, or whatever it is. You never know. If you ask God, as these entities ask Jesus, and he granted, I think your wish of asking God to purify your food might also be granted. Especially pork, when God gave us the commandment not to eat pigs, no matter how many spirits were in that man, I'm pretty confident a school of fish would be enough to allow a new home for each spirit. You get a new home. You get a new home. You get a new home. You know the opportunity. We should thank Jesus, who was our first Black Santa. These were demons given a new home. So did Jesus do it for his people? He died so they could later also get a new home for eternal home. How did the spirits even know to ask, God or Jesus in the flesh to give them permission? If they had to ask, I think they could, go into the swine. If they could go into the swine, don't you think they had to ask if they could enter into the man, or the man give them permission? Maybe not, because the man asked the spirits in with his mindset, choices, or actions. Everybody's got to feel welcome, right? Especially nowadays, inclusiveness. no matter what the situation or spirit is. Inclusiveness among the children is a thing, okay, now, my point, after you know and understand the benefits of not lying or being disobedient, you can negotiate as the spirits did and ask for a new home. God has said, a liar, God will not hear. So after your life is over, your spirit will stand before God and be judged. Where will you spend eternity? That judgment can be fast or take more time, so it makes sense for God. He has a lot of things to do. We all know that, right? So I think one of God's daily duties includes judging the dead. I bet that's a line no one wants to be cutting in to get to the front. So the dead wait their turn to be judged. If the work is long, like judging the dead might be, waiting for you to come up with the best, lie or taking time to figure out what lie you want to come up with while in line waiting, because this is it, and the pressure's on. And if you're indecisive, choosing the best lie to use might take some time. God ain't got time for that. As a matter of fact, I would bet God told the devil she or he, could get an extra credit for getting men and or women to lie. Why would God be okay with that? If you're being a liar by choice, just lying by choice and not telling the truth, we might argue if God is a man or not, or if the devil is a woman. I believe God created man first. God visited the earth, sent his son Jesus in the flesh as a man. So, man, makes me believe, God is a man. But that's just my opinion. Some people say it doesn't matter. God's final offering was more valuable than the male bull offered up, for the sins of men by the priests early in human civilization. Why would God be okay if the devil caused as many to lie as would choose to lie? It speaks of God's day. God didn't get time to be listening to you lie. And God, got other things to do. That's all I'm saying. I bet, all would agree God got too many other things to do. For example, God got to listen to prayers and blessings, at some time during the day. Then I hope God, has some time to stop these crazies from blowing up his planet to save their own butts. I don't think any of us would argue that God has lots of things he has to do to maintain this world and hopefully save it from those who have the desire to destroy it. It's a beautiful place. Let's try to do our best to keep it that way. Thank you for your time. Tell me what you think. Like, share, comment, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video or podcast or whatever it may be. You have a great day.